Okay, hi. I really like this song. Okay, hi. I'm back. And I'm making another podcast. I don't know why I'm making another podcast. I'll get into my self-esteem issues later. But before you click off this video, before you go and do something else with your time, I know that I'm asking for a lot. What I'm asking for here with this product that I have to sell, right? Because essentially what I'm doing is trying to be a self-owned business person here. But before you go and go on with your day and forget about this video or forget about this idea that I have, right? I would just like to say that I'm self-aware. I know that I'm asking for a lot, from asking 30 minutes from someone's day to stop and chill with me. We got shit that we already support. We got shit that we already do on a daily basis. We got shit that we already are invested in. I understand all that. To try to get you, a viewer, invested into something else, it's a task. It's my task. And what's cool right now, what's hip, what's in the now is not supporting people. What's in the now right now, I would say, is probably like business. Being a self-made millionaire, which isn't the lifestyle for everyone, by the way. I'll get into that some other podcast. But it's not cool to support people right now. And that's in the predicament that I find myself in, right? I don't know if I should keep doing this because I don't see the amount of support that I would want to see to this product that I have to sell. And that's basically what it is, right? This is business, but this is a different type of business. This is like business for creatives. Me, as a person who has a product to sell, is trying to get attention. That's my ultimate goal in trying to sell something to you, the consumer. I need you to notice me. And for so long in my entire fucking life, I've never been noticed. Not in school, not in sports, not in fucking my own family, not you name it, dog. You name it. Not extracurricular activities, dog. I've never been noticed. I'm an invisible man, so to speak. And it's kind of fucking weird. It's hard to get the ball on something like this rolling. You know why? Because people have their own shit to worry about. It's the truth. And I know I'm asking for a lot. That's why I wanted to start off the podcast with this little mini rant. I understand. But when I started my very first podcast... No, before I get into that. What is the product that I'm selling here, right? What is of a value in this 30 minutes that you're going to sit here down and watch? What are you taking away from this? Well, let me tell you what my goal is, right, for the viewer. What I want to create is my goals here for the consumer is I want to create a community, not just a community, an environment where me, the entertainer, is able to entertain someone for 30 minutes of the day. That's it. What I want to do is provide conversation and dialogue around these things that I think are important, and interact with other like-minded people, or not even better yet, people who don't agree. I am down. The reason why I'm doing this is to start conversations around the things that I think are important, or the things that aren't important, you know? Start conversations about the things that I care about. Excuse me. to entertain. As you can tell, I'm a very energetic person, and what I'm selling to you is my personality. I'm selling to you, or my goal here, this isn't a trend. What I'm doing right now, I'm not being loud and bodacious and annoying because it's the trendy thing to do right now. I'm doing it because it's my personality. It's what I'm selling. This is my product. This podcast, this idea that I have, this art, I want to create a community. That album thing, this is gonna change. That literally, it came to me last podcast. I had no idea, but I'm a huge music fan. How do I express my love for music in a way that isn't so outright in your face? Perfect solution. Perfect solution. I got a fucking perfect solution right here. I talk with my hands. I'm a very expressive person. That's what I'm selling. I'm also selling intelligence. I'm not just an idiot who's on hoping to catch a trend or a fucking hot moment. No, this is for the long game. I plan to do this podcast for years to come. The plan for this podcast isn't to just fizzle out and die one day. The goal that I have here is I'm selling myself. I'm selling my life story. Why am I giving a piece of myself to the world? Why am I doing that? Why am I submitting my privacy to people who probably won't even care at the end of the day, or to people who probably won't listen on a weekly basis? Why am I choosing to submit so much to people? The answer is I want to help people. Let me tell you a story about, and this podcast, by the way, I don't have much topics. This isn't going to be a structured thing. This is kind of just me airing my shit out, if you haven't noticed already. Anyway, I have a story. So, I have gone through a lot in my life, right? And as this podcast progresses, I'm sure I will release details of my life story on this podcast, because I'm getting to a point where I'm basically becoming a person with no boundaries, and some people would say that's sick. I would argue, though, that I have nothing to lose now. If you don't know, by the way, I am depressed, and I also suffer from anxiety. What is anxiety? What is the disease known as anxiety? At some point in time in our lives, all of us as humans feel anxiety. And all of us as humans also feel depressed at one point in our life, where we don't have the urge to go on anymore. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, right? Maybe, and this is my anxiety coming into play, right? Because I don't want to speak for other people. I'm just speaking from my own experience. But it's inevitable to undergo trauma, right? We all experience a lot of the same shit. We all experience heartbreak. We all experience death. We all experience, some of us, and I would say a large majority of us, experienced childhood traumas and shit in which we still don't even know how to deal with, because we might not even have found someone to openly express the feelings with. Like, the topic of therapy, this is a therapy thing. Like, it's hard to find a therapist that, like, really connects with you. And if you don't find that person that connects with you, it's difficult to really be honest and truthful and outwardly open with that person. Because you're not connecting. The vibe isn't there. Yeah, you're a therapist. That's your job title. I don't need a therapist job title person. What I need right now is a human to connect with me. That's where a lot of us find ourselves when we talk about finding therapy. We need someone who's gonna give us that human feel. And let me tell you something. For, I'd say, 18 or 19 years of my life, I never had that human feel. I've never had a place where I could truly go and say, yeah, these people, I can trust these people. I can be outwardly honest with these people. I can be myself with these people. I've never had that. Not with my family. I barely had friends in my life. I push people away. I'm a pathological liar. I've come to find out. So what that means is I lie about everything. It could be like the smallest, simplest thing. Like if you walk into the room and you see my dog laying there and you ask me the most obvious question, like, yo, where's my dog? I'm gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna say he's right there. I'm gonna say he's somewhere else. It's something that I've been dealing with, and I've been really managing well now that I've realized and recognized what that is within myself. It's something, and pathological lying, it's something, it's like really, really cool. I was reading up on it, but it encompasses a lot of things, and it's like you made up things about your past. Like, you lied about your past, you're lying about your present, you're lying to everyone. It's not a y'all thing, it's a me thing, right? I'm lying because I don't like the truth about myself, about the things that have happened to me, about the person that I am, about the truths about myself. I don't like that. So in turn, I'll just lie to everyone. It's easier to lie to everyone, but that gets complicated and messy with the relationships that you have with other people, because then you can't keep track of the lies that you're telling everyone else. But that's a whole nother topic and a whole problem. See what I mean when I say I'm doing this podcast, and as I go along, I'll just outwardly, openly, like, list my problems and my shit out there, air my shit out. This is why I wanted this platform too, because I have a platform to talk about my shit. Listen to me, dog. My voice is needed to be heard. And for so long in my entire fucking life, my voice has not been heard. And now in 2021, at 20 years old, with nothing in my bank account and with nothing to my name, you are gonna hear my voice. You know why? Because I am fucking smart. That's why. I don't have to give you an explanation as to why you need to hear my voice. Just listen to it, and maybe you'll find out. Come listen, and maybe you'll find out why you need to listen to my voice. The fuck out of here. But anyway, I freak out. All right. Okay. So, and like I said, I have anxiety. So I'm nervous about, and I'm anxious about everything in life. And I'm scared of I don't think scared is the right word. It's just my mind blows everything out of proportion. That's the way I would describe anxiety, is my mind blows everything out of proportion. But what I was talking about was human connection in my life, right? That's where I was. Okay. Why am I, at the end of the day, what is the catalyst of me doing a podcast? Why did I choose a podcast? I could be a regular YouTuber. I could be a regular vlogger. I could be a streamer, which by the way, I am going to start streaming soon. As soon as I get the facilities to do that. Right now, I don't have the facilities, and when I stream straight from my PS5 to YouTube, the video is very, very blurry. The video is very, very blurry. and I don't have a camera, so you can't see my face. So it's just gameplay, and you hear my voice, and that's really it. And I don't really like that. I would like to get an actual streaming setup in my home soon. Yeah. Anyway, why choose a podcast, right? I could be an Instagram influencer. I could be a TikToker. I could use these many variations to perfect my craft and to become the person or the entertainer that I want to be, or the voice of reason that I want to be. Why choose a podcast? Well, number one, it gives me the freedom to talk about whatever I want to talk about for as long as I want to talk about it. It doesn't have a length. It doesn't have a time limit. It doesn't have restrictions that a vlog would have. It allows me to spark conversation accordingly. That's number one. Number two, podcasting is the future. What podcasting is essentially is conversation. Right now, I'm doing it by myself, and I can do this by myself. Trust me, I can talk for hours on end by myself. But eventually, I want this to evolve to a point where I have guests, and they're giving me their life story, and they're giving me their perspective on the universe and the world, and how they view everything that's going on, how they view the current state of this country, how they view the current state of the world, how they view this immaculate time that we're living in where you have the option to become a self-made millionaire. You have, through entertainment too, by the way, which has never been the option ever before in the history. Usually, traditionally, you would have to go through colleges, you would have to go through trades, you would have to go through the workforce, you would have to go through part-time jobs in order to create a living. But now we're living in a day and age where entertainment is probably the second most or it's a huge contributor in the income of people, right? These creators, that the internet has allowed the creators to really have a voice for themselves, and it's beautiful, right? You see, there's a whole bunch of trends, right? But the people who last, the people who stay and stick around, they're the ones you got to pay attention to. They're the ones you got to look and say, all right, what are they doing right? What is this person doing to maintain and hold success? And it's easy. The answer is simple. They're providing valuable information. They're not doing it for the funnies. They're not doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the lifestyle. They're not doing it for anything else other than the education in their field. I'm talking strictly about creators. The people who seem to last seem to be infatuated with education, and that's not a coincidence. We as humans, we love education. We love learning new shit. Podcasting allows for me to come in here every single week and teach you something. Maybe you don't need to be taught what I'm saying, right? But it's just my perspective, right? And then you can argue with me through Twitter, through Instagram, through the YouTube comments. You can argue with me with your perspective. And I love that. That's what I live for. I love discussing the universe with people. And that's, at the end of the day why I'm doing this. But why I chose to make a podcast. But on the more emotional side, right? Why did I choose to make a podcast? I mentioned this earlier, and I got a whole bunch of sidetracked. But why did I choose to make a podcast, right? And why is this so? Why do I know this is such an impactful, or this can be such an impactful tool to other people, right? Well, let me just give you a quick story. I'll use myself as an example. I listen to podcasts, but, and no, there's no but. I listen to podcasts, and these podcasts, let me tell you something. The podcast that I listen to on a regular basis, on a daily basis, well, not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, every single episode that they come out it's called the Joe Budden podcast. It's one of the biggest podcasts in hip hop, one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and I was in a time, right, where in my entire life, like I mentioned before, I had no one who listened. I had no one who cared. I had no one who really understood me, I felt like. And that's a large part due to me too. I have some accountability there, where I was pushing people away, but I was pushing them away for the right reasons. I was pushing them away because they were hurting me. I just answered my own question. Look. Now I'm fucking dumbfounded. I just answered my own question. Like, why did I push people away? Well, because they were hurting you. Right? Anyway, what I'm trying to get to here is that this podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, it provided me with human connection in a way that I didn't have before. So it was powerful to me. It allowed me to believe that these guys, the cast of the Joe Budden podcast, they were my friends, and it was like a weekly meeting with friends. That's what it was essentially at the end of the day. And they would talk it, they would kick it, they would be unafraid to speak their mind. It wouldn't be filtered. It would they would provide conversations on the shit on similar shit that I would like, and we would share similar interests. They would talk about music, they talk about the industry, activism, a whole bunch of shit that we shared in common, right? And it provided this idea it provided me with a sense of community feeling with this podcast. It made me feel connected with these people who I've never met before, through the power of sharing their world with me, a listener. It was some of the most powerful shit that I realized over these past couple of months. Because, like I said before, I'm someone who suffers from depression and anxiety. As I didn't have nowhere to turn. Let me tell you, there was days where I was contemplating, and maybe not, allegedly, I don't know yet, I might have attempted suicide, you know? Should I keep that in there? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't even know if anyone is listening to this far into the podcast, but this is a podcast about me. Should I keep that in? Fuck. I don't know. I had nowhere to turn, basically, and while I won't say they're the sole reason why I stayed alive, no, there were other reasons why I should not kill myself, right? Allegedly kill myself. They were a large reason why. They provided me with comfort, an environment where I could go every single week and just listen in on these guys joke around and inside jokes. There were inside jokes. It was a community. It was I should probably talk about that suicide thing, right? I don't know. Listen, there's a lot of factors and varying. There's a lot of moving parts here that have to go into like what led to that point. I myself, listen, to give you, I'm trying to find a way to talk about this without sounding completely fucking dark and twisted. But listen, I'll talk about the things that kept me alive, right? The things that pushed me toward a better sense of the world, I guess, which was the Joe Budden podcast. It was music. It were my younger siblings. I have a younger brother who's he's 6 years old, and I have two little sisters who are they're in times where there would be darker days where I would be searching for the purpose to stay alive, and I didn't want to place that pain on them, and this subject is a lot more complicated than I'm making it out to seem. And hopefully one day, or as I progress in this podcast, I can look back at this time in my life or my life as a whole, because if I'm being honest, my entire life has led up to the point of suicide. Like, if I go through every phase in my life, it's nothing but failure. It's nothing but letdowns and loneliness. I can tell you guys, there's one time in my life where I felt part of something bigger, and that was in middle school. And I was such a bad fucking kid in middle school. Like, I was such a different person back then. And it's not even about being a different person. It's more so about what I was going through at the time. Because even in middle school, like, I was undergoing shit that I was just placing on other people. I'm trying to find a way to talk about this without sounding completely dark and terrible. But it's just, that's the story of my life, I'd love to be more optimistic on this topic. I really would, but it's the reality. And the reality isn't always cute or sweet. In fact, the reality is oftentimes ugly. It's disgusting. It's morbid. Our realities are that we die. When I started to internalize that fact and that idea that when we are born, we're just born to die, dog, my life nosedived. I was living to die. I internalized the idea that life was worthless. It was meaningless. That in the end, and this might still be true, in the end, nothing matters. So why the fuck do we keep living? Why the fuck do we keep doing things? Why the fuck do we, what is the point of everything? And I did not mean to get this dark and morbid, but it's the story of my life. And I wish, right? I wish it was a lot more flowery and a lot more exciting and a lot more fucking happier, a lot more positive experiences rather than negative experiences. I wish that were the case, but it's not the case. And it's the mind that I have to live in every single day. I have to live with these negative experiences every single day. Fam, for my entire life, I felt like I was stepped on. I felt like I was silenced. I felt like I was pushed down. I felt like I was shit. Like everyone in my life took something from me. Took a part of me and crushed it. In some way, shape, or form. Everyone in my life hurt me in some way. Even those that I loved the most. I mean, who wouldn't be pushed to that point? I have no fucking happy memories. What do you expect from me? Anyway. Listen, I did not want to get all dark and alright, I'm moving on from this suicide talk and this fucking dark, Jesus, depressing ass shit, because I don't want to stay on it for too long. It scares me because it implies that I have moved past this point. And to be honest, I don't know if I have. I don't know if this sense of worthlessness and this sense of nothingness and this sense of no purpose and this sense of just overall nihilism, I don't know if this is something I have to live with my entire life. I don't know if it's something that I can outgrow, or I don't know if it's because of our nature and because of what awaits all of us, which is death, that it's something I can just one day overlook. I don't know. This world is a dark place too. And let me tell you something. Looking around this world and seeing every single little thing that's wrong with it, and then seeing how it all ties in together, how everything ties in together, it's fucking depressing. It literally, it's like, fam, do I want to live in this world where it's just, there's nothing positive about this world? Humans are just creatures that hurt each other. Fam, do I want to be a part of this broken, disgusting society? Do I want to go out there and be a real estate agent? Right? Because let me tell you something about the real estate market. The real estate market, the real estate business is ran by the board of realtors. Which, by the way, if you don't know, realtor is not a job title. Realtor is the name of like this membership that you have to pay to get into as a real estate agent. It's basically the title of the membership, a realtor. You can only call yourself a realtor if you pay for the membership. But this board, and if you guys don't know, I'm a real estate agent. That's why I'm talking about this. But this board, they have stake and they fund politicians. Like, do I want to sacrifice my human integrity and everything that I feel like I stand for, which is human decency? I'm not affiliated with any political party. I don't even follow politics that much, because I know it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. I just stand on the side of human decency. But when you fund politicians and you have a politician campaign in your own realtor board, and you notice how fucked up the housing crisis in this country is? And you notice how fucked up construction is, and redlining and gerrymandering, when you really get into what these words mean, and the systematic discrimination that goes on in Section 8 housing, and fucking how black people are treated with housing versus white people, the rates of housing right now, which are through the fucking roof. And listen, let me tell you something. Housing should not be as expensive as it is. That's a whole nother topic for another day. Discussing the cost of real estate in this country. That's a whole nother topic. That's not what I'm disputing here. I'm getting at the people who are commingling with the others. I don't want to be a part of your organization. I don't want to be affiliated with an organization that is so broken, and that has been broken for many, many years. Listen, the real estate industry is not a cheap industry. They got $7, $8, $9, $10 million listings. We're talking about millions of dollars in funnels here. If you think these people don't have power within their fucking, or if you think these people don't have like as much power as politicians, they fund these fucking politicians, dog. They can fund people who align with their beliefs. I don't want to be a part of that. As someone who has built their image on morals and integrity, someone who stands for something so much bigger than himself and money, you can't sway me with the idea of commissions. Yes, there's a lot of money in real estate if you know how to do it well. That doesn't move me. Me? You're right. Maybe I'm built different. You can't sway me with a check. Integrity in your business. What are you doing? What are you doing for your communities? What are you doing for the parts of your community that don't have as much wealth and income as others? Are you reforming, or are you just fucking ignoring? And let me tell you something. These industries, they're hundreds of years old. So what do you think the answer to my question was? Do you think they're reforming or ignoring? No. Do you think they're what's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking right now. Do you think they're in cahoots? Do you think they're collaborating with each other, or do you think they're pitting against each other? Get the fuck out of here. No. These motherfuckers are just as dirty as the politicians. Matter of fact, even more dirty. Because if you cared about reforming housing and the industry as a whole, you would take your money and you would start your own thing where you could control what you do with that money. Instead, you dump it in the politicians that know, hey, this shit's not gonna change. Nothing in here is gonna change. Nothing in this government. That's my whole rant on being a real estate agent. That's my gripe with being a real estate agent right now. I am a real estate agent, so if anyone wants to buy or sell their home, hit me up. I probably won't be a real estate agent for long. It's just not the career for me. Listen, when you get down to what real estate actually is, or what being a real estate agent actually entails, listen, let me tell you something. It's the same 3 or 4 moves every single time. And mind you, I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who's never a real estate. I'm a real estate agent who's never completed a deal, but I've been involved in almost completing a couple of them. Almost. Uh, uh, Listen, I don't know. It's just I don't think it's for me. Um, the industry, the people who work in the industry, they're all assholes. In my time being a real estate agent, I haven't met one helpful person in real estate. It's kind of like a money hungry business. That's not for me. I walked into the business having no idea what I had to do or what to do in the event that I got a business deal, and no one would help me. Not the people who sponsor me, who sponsor my license. Not I had a mentor, quote unquote, who didn't really provide me with any details or insight about the job. I talked to agents on like the other side. I was met with attitude and fucking like I don't know, this sense of arrogance that I'm like, are you trying to take my business? Like it's territorial too, by the way. It's just not for me. I don't want to be in a business where, listen, maybe it is for some people. Maybe it is for people who are trying to make a quick buck. That's not who I am, though. The reason why I still am a real estate agent is because I want to maybe one day help someone with a business transaction, and I'm well informed in. Don't get shit twisted. I still know my shit about real estate, but I maybe one day still have the dream of helping someone through a real estate transaction, even if it's just, there's nothing flashy about the business. There's nothing special about your title as a real estate agent. In all actuality, you're kind of like a glorified secretary as a real estate agent. It's just not for me. It's a bit too straightforward. I don't want a career where it's straightforward. That's why I wanted to be a lawyer, because the idea of law compared to an idea of real estate is law. The whole concept of being a lawyer is you're taking the law, you're taking the Constitution, you're taking these ideas that have been set in stone for hundreds of years, and you're manipulating it to your advantage. You're taking these words and you're interpreting them on you're basically saying, hey, I can interpret these words better than you. That is what being a lawyer is. I love that. It allows me to use my perspective. It allows me to use my brain. It allows me to use my intelligence. With a job like being a real estate agent, you're nothing more than a facilitator. You're pushing papers. You have all the paperwork that you need, and yeah, it's like a lot of reading. It's like but even then, it's like shit. It's like you're reading. You're not the contracts that you guys sign when, or the paperwork that you guys sign when you go to write out your house. A lot of that shit is just pre-typed by someone else, and they're like templates. So like, you're kind of just giving paperwork to people and then making sure they sign and reading over it to make sure it's all in order. You're a glorified secretary, like I said. It's two completely different professions, and I don't want to waste my time being something that I'm not, because I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not this business guy. I'm just not. I'm a creative. I'm a creative. I'm a creative. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but Emotional Oranges is playing right now. It's fucking beautiful. I wanna do one of the things that you like. Yeah, I'm saying you're right. I deserve what I like. I don't really care about the cost. I want to make music one day. Like, this is what I see myself doing. I don't know if I want to go to college still. Or I should probably go to college. I'm gonna keep going to college. I'm gonna go to college. I'm majoring in philosophy. I'm saving that for my next podcast, because this is already 45 minutes long, and I don't want to I don't want to extend it too bad. But I guess I'll get into topics now. So should I get into topics now? Should I save it for next week? I'll get into one topic. I'll get into the whole royal family thing, right? So if you're living under a rock, right? The royal breaking news, everyone. Breaking news, everyone who didn't know, who doesn't have fucking common sense. Breaking news. The royal family is racist. They don't want a black baby in the royal family. Oh my God! Not this family. What? The royal family? Britain, who fucking colonized, who spent their entire history colonizing and oppressing people? They colonized all of Africa in the 1900s. That royal family you're talking to me? They can't be racist. No. Listen, man, I wish people would actually start to care about the things that matter, like prison and school reform, and like reforming this country, like getting the government on their ass, like putting some pressure behind the government to actually fix shit in this country before worrying about what another country is doing. But let's worry about what another country is doing, right? So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, I think her name is, basically they were condemned and they left their family, the royal family, because they were shunned by their family members for being colored people, or for Prince Harry marrying a colored woman, and excuse me, Jesus, for Meghan Markle being basically some percent black, because she doesn't even look black, but I won't get into that discussion, right? Again, I don't understand how this is a story. There's that old saying about, like, you can't teach a dog new tricks, and I just apply that to old people with racist ideas. Just let them die off. I don't want to change your idea. Just let them dissipate from the world. Now, changing the ideas of young and impressionable people and people who still have a lot of life to live, I'm all for that. But a royal... You're telling me about the royal family of Britain, man. Could you not guess that they were racist? Why is this information being released? Why isn't this information confidential? You know why? Because it's all sensationalized. You know how much racism there is in this country alone? Fam, y'all probably live to next door neighbors that are racist, who hate black people and minorities. This isn't news to me. The world is broken. The world is full of hate. The world is how it is because we've lived in separation. This isn't news to me. Listen, let me tell you who else is racist. A lot of people who are racist as well. The owners of Fortune 500 companies. politicians, a lot of right-wing people. That whole capitalist thing where they the whole capitalist the riot, all them people in that riot, let me tell you, there's not a single one of them that would say or that has a sliver of empathy for black people. This isn't news, is what I'm trying to say. This isn't news to me. Matter of fact, we shouldn't pay this any attention. Why are you surprised that the family of England, a country so fucking entrenched in their own racism and oppression, the head of that country is racist? Why are you surprised? Why are you talking about it? Fam, worry about your own fucking country where they got mad people who are racist and fucking the heads of y'all countries. We had a fucking racist president last 4 years. Why are you surprised? We're not living in a new time yet. Racism has never been eradicated from the world. Why are we surprised? Listen, that's all I'll say on this. I feel like I've even given this fucking stupid topic a lot of time, but I guess I'll end the podcast here because I still gotta edit and I still gotta fucking do a whole bunch of shit. But before I go, this behind me, this is my new style of art, by the way. So what I do is I'm not gonna explain how I make it, right? Because I'm not a magician never reveals their secret, or that stupid saying. But what it is basically an artwork on the basis of the music that I'm listening to. And I've done this before. It's not new. It's just a different concept, right? Instead of with words that I did before and the quotes that I would take from the songs and put it up, what I'm doing now is using lines. And I think I really like this. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm ending the podcast soon. Just give me a second. So, I made a piece of this. Like, this is... I listened to 2 songs while making that. I listened to Back from the 80s by Lil Wayne and My Darling by Eminem. And the reason why I chose Black was because My Darling by Eminem is a very dark song. And that's why you can see a lot of darker smudges on the painting or the whiteboard. And this was a piece that I made listening to Igor by Tyler the Creator, and I chose pink because obviously the cover is pink. But if you can look at this like a lot more, like on the songs that were a lot more darker, I chose to use a lot darker strokes, and maybe you can't really tell because it's just a lot, but I think this looks beautiful. I'm really proud of this. You can kind of see it, but it's kind of like how I'm feeling while I'm listening to the song. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought I'd share that with y'all. But yeah, I think I'll end the podcast here. So I still don't have a closure. I don't even know if people listen to this far. Yeah. I think I'll end the podcast though. All right. Bye. I don't know what the fuck to say. I do have a closing line. Which is I'll be here next week. I promise. Well, I can't promise that, but that's usually my ending closing line. Yeah. Hopefully people watch. Hopefully people watch this far in. Hopefully people have to listen to my voice or you know, take my voice and hopefully I have viewers. I'll be here next week, I promise. But as for now, I'll end it and I'll talk to you guys later. So, like, share, comment, subscribe, feedback, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening.